Hello, scholars, and welcome to POL 451, Executive Leadership and Management in the Public Sector. My name is Brian Gazette, and I'm excited to be your professor for the next 8 weeks. In this video, we are going to introduce the course and deliver the syllabus. We'll also review your Week 1 assignments. Get used to receiving videos like this. It is my intent to deliver or upload one of these videos each week, and this will typically occur on Sundays. Each video will highlight the learning assignments for the week to come. It will also address any concerns or issues we had in the previous weeks. And finally, navigate us towards our large-scale assignments, and particularly our critical assignments in the weeks to come. I can't stress the importance of reviewing these videos on a weekly basis. In our online and professional studies, these videos are going to be the tool that you will need to create a map to be able to successfully navigate through each week. Information, topics, concerns, issues will be delivered on a weekly basis. And my intent is to answer as many questions as I can for you on a weekly basis so that it'll assist you in being successful to navigate as you move through each one of your weekly assignments. So let's dive into the course syllabus. As I open the course syllabus, this syllabus is going to look very similar to many of the other courses that you've taken if you have taken courses here in OPS. We have the course description. This course introduces students to the executive and management skills necessary for successful leaders in public organizations. Emphasis is on the assessment of personal growth needs and enhancement of administrative skills, including communication, decision-making skills, motivation, leadership styles, and team building. The big thing that we need to emphasize is this is leadership in public organizations. And we can understand that by the title, but understand that everything in this course is going to be focusing on public organizations. And while we'll make comparisons to many of our private counterparts, the emphasis will be on public organizations. We have a description of online learning. Here is my instructor contact information. Once again, my name is Brian Gazetta. I work out of the OPS office on Hemet Street, and I can make appointments, but I'll email only. And that email address is going to be the perfect way to get a hold of me. I am like every one of you. I have a phone that is in my pocket almost at any given time, at any given day. And when you email me, it makes a beep. I will do everything I can to answer your questions when you email me as soon as possible. I know, though, because I understand that as online learners, you are very, we need information, we have timelines, we have deadlines, we're working adults. So when you have a question, you want to get timely feedback. And I will do everything I can possibly can to get back to you as soon as possible. Understand that, like you, I have a life as well. And sometimes there might be a delay in me getting back to you. But my intent is as soon as possible because I know how important that is to you. We have some required textbooks, and hopefully all of us have already got our Leadership Challenge, How to Make Extraordinary Things Happen in Organizations, the 5th edition. This is this book by Coos and Posner. We need to look that this is the 5th edition. There is a 6th edition out there. And also, if there's a 5th, there's a 4th, a 3rd, a 2nd, and a 1st. But we are going to be working out of the 5th edition. There is some changes between the different editions. This book is built upon case studies and research by these two professors. And in each edition, they incorporate additional case studies and additional research. So while the content and the fundamentals are the same, we are going to be working out of the 5th edition. And for those of you that have not heard of this book or who are just seeing this book for the first time, realize that there are, they say that leadership books are the most highly published books there are. Thousands upon thousands of leadership books are published every year, because everybody has their idea or their concept, and leadership is such a dynamic and such a complicated that almost everybody has an idea of how to add to the spectrum of leadership. And almost everybody in every single field is striving to be a better leader. So you can see why it's a field that is very inundated with people's opinions. The beauty of this book, The Leadership Challenge, is it is a very successful leadership book. And the reason why it's so successful is because they believe that leadership is a concept that is learned. It is not something that you are born with. Another reason why I particularly like this book is wrote by two scholars, two college professors out of Santa Clara University. They use a scientific method and a scholarly approach to leadership, using case studies and research dynamics. This isn't former leaders or people that are telling you that you need to have dynamic charisma. They're talking about a model, and a five-step process on how to become a leader. What they have taken is they have taken a huge amount of research and studies that have found what leaders are doing at when they're at their best, and they introduce these studies and these findings to us. So for us that are in the academic world, we appreciate this book. One is because it is wrote by academics. Two is because it uses a research model. And three is because there's a model that we can apply to our lives. It's not that you were born as a leader. You can actually learn to become a leader. And that's why I think this book is going to work so well for us. So we have some outcomes here and our goals that you can review. And we have now our assignment. This course is broke down into several assignments. The first is reading. The only way that you're going to be successful in this course is to actually read the book. You are going to have a very difficult time in this course if you do not apply yourself to do the readings. Now, the benefit is the reading for this is a very good book that reads very well. It is also a very popular book, so it comes in a number of formats: electronic, audible, or good old-fashioned text. So whatever media that you enjoy reading, you'll have the opportunity. But I can't stress enough that if you're going to be successful in this class, you need to actually do the readings, because everything in this class is built upon the Leadership Challenge book. There are going to be some discussion threads, and some of the things that we want to highlight in here is that discussion threads are opening up on Monday and they close on Sunday. We utilize the traditional ops course week of Monday through Sunday. So everything is going to open on a Monday and is going to close at Sunday at 11:59, and all of our assignments need to be in by 11:59. With all of our discussion threads, you need to give one post and then follow it up with two feedback posts to your fellow students. I remember in our ops, our discussion threads take the place of our student interactions in the classroom. So I expect to have very scholarly discussions, especially when it comes to the interaction between students. When you are posting your replies to other students, I do not want to hear "good job," "I agree." I want you to add to the scholarly conversation. I want you to add insight. And your grading to be successful in these will be dependent upon the levels. I stay away from word counts um, based upon the fact that I want more of the content. I want your ideas and your concepts instead of just thinking that I need to add 100 words or 200 words. But if I find in weeks to come that our scholarly thoughts aren't reaching the limit where I need to, you might see some word counts in the weeks to come. But for right now, focus on content. I want good application of concept, and I want good scholarly replies to each one of the classmates. And typically, or not typically, you will give one post, and then you will need to give two replies. And there is no late work allowed when it comes to discussion boards. Remember, the whole dynamics, the concept of a discussion board is that you're in an interactive conversation. So if you do not post by the end of the week, you are not be able to be a part of that interactive conversation, and therefore there is no late work allowed for discussion threads. There's some weekly quizzes. Once again, they are all due by Sunday at 11:59, and they are a variation of fill in true false short answers. There are some application exercises, which you'll find in weeks to weeks. And then we have three larger assignments. One is going to be a historical leader wiki project, in which students will identify a leader in history from any sector of public life. You're going to investigate the leader. You're going to give a bio, their education, their personal and professional journeys towards leadership. And then using a wiki concept, you're going to use images, video, audio, or other mixed methods that you prefer, and you're going to place it in a wiki page, and you're going to describe in this visual audio kind of concept in this wiki of who this historical leader in history and what is the importance of them. And we'll go into much more detail in this project. We have a critical assignment, and this is an interview and synthesis paper. And what we're going to look for in this is that you are going to interview an executive level leader in an effective organization and prepare a written report. The leader must be in a supervisor or managerial position. The observations made will be applied to the theories of leadership and management learned in this course. The leadership's trait, styles, situation theories will be synthesized and properly referenced in a 4 to 5 page paper. It is expected that you utilize APA style writing style. The paper will show evidence of research that goes beyond internet websites and textbooks. Your guide will be in a written format with citation. It will be expected that there will be a biblical cross-reference with the biblical with applicable issues in terms of ethics and or governance, and a written assignment guide and evaluation rubric will be provided. And then we have a final written assignment. This is the final vision for the future, where students will be given an opportunity to contemplate and articulate their vision of the future. You're going to be using the Leadership Challenge, Cruises and Posner's Chapter 5 as the guide, and any applicable references from course readings, creating a contemplated vision of the future for your future statement. And there will be detailed instructions and rubrics will be provided in Blackboard. So just a quick overview. You can read through all these, and like I said, each week we will discuss what is going to be due that week, and the larger assignments that we have in the future. So don't be concerned that this is the only time you're going to be introduced to any of these. We have the grading breakdown, so you can get an idea of how the distribution of points is. We have the final grade breakdown, and then there is a course schedule each week. And once again, you can see that the assignment due dates are all day 7. That's going to be the end of day 7, and a breakdown of what is assigned and what is due each week. Some of the things that should point out to you is that your interview and synthesis paper, that is a critical assignment, is due week 7, day 7. So we have that at the end of week 7, and then there are some early days for the final vision of the future essay. Remember that we need to submit those before the end of the week because I need to get all those graded and get your grades submitted to the university. So I need a couple days to do that. So that's why there's a little bit of days on day 5 there. As you navigate through the rest of the syllabus, there's the expectations on professionalism, regular effective contact. It says that communication is within 24 hours. Timely feedback for assessed work is 72 hours. What I'll tell you on this is I will try to get back to you when you email me as soon as possible, with 24 hours being the maximum time, like we already discussed. And then feedback for assignments, it says 72 hours. I know that when you submit a paper, you want to get your feedback as quick as possible. When it comes to discussion boards, I typically will wait till they're all submitted on that Sunday before I'll grade them. I need all of those. And then a lot of our written assignments, I will also wait till the end of the week. Once I receive all of them, it's much easier for me to navigate through all of your assignments and grade. And I try to do all my grading on Monday. So everything will be due by Sunday. And on Monday, I will try to get as much as graded as possible. Because once again, I know that you want that feedback. Based upon that feedback is you're going to have the direction of how you're going to do your next writings, your next assignments. And I know that's important to you. So I will do everything I can to grade as quickly as possible. But keep in mind that I typically like to group everything together and grade everybody's assignments together, and that normally happens on the Monday. So it'll be due on Sunday at midnight, and I'll try my best to get it all graded by Monday. So that one-day turnaround. Here's the late assignments, and this is very important, so I'm going to go through this very clearly. If there is any issues that I've encountered in my teachings here at Cal Baptist, it is with the late assignment. So I've tried to make this portion of the syllabus as clear as possible, and I'm going to try to make it as clear as possible to you, so there's no questions on how this course is going to navigate. So no late assignments will be accepted without instructor approval or a bona fide emergency at the sole discretion of the professor. Computer, printer, email, and similar technical problems are not acceptable excuses for late work. If you anticipate a problem, illness, potential family emergencies, let the professor know and keep me informed. Email messages are checked regularly. No makeup work opportunity will be given except under the most extenuating circumstances and at the sole discretion of the professor. No late assignments will receive No assignments submitted will receive a 0 and calculated in the gradebook. Acceptance of late work cannot receive full credit no matter how perfect it is. Late assignments will be deducted 10% of point value of the given assignment for every day it is late. No assignments will be accepted beyond 1 week of the original due date, no exceptions. No late discussion threads or blogs will be accepted beyond the due date, and critical assignments must be submitted as scheduled, no exceptions. So let's break that down real quick. Um, no late assignments will be accepted without instructor approval. So here's the deal. I know that each and every one of us, we have families, we have jobs, we have careers, and we have life. And all of those can get in our way on occasions. There is nothing that we can't work around. The key is if I know that you have a problem. So if you have an issue, the first thing you need to do is email me. If you need an extension, if you don't believe that you're going to get your assignments due by the due dates, because of an emergency, email me, and I am very accepting of the problems that you have, because once again, I am in your shoes as well. A student, a professor, I have a career, and I know that life happens. But the key is that you need to let me know keep me in the loop. You need to email me. Well, when you email me and say that, hey, I have a family emergency, can I get an extension? You will typically receive an email back that says it's accepted. Once it's accepted, you realize that you now have an opportunity to turn your assignments in late. Now, based upon that, uh, your assignments will not receive full credit. You're going to lose 10% for each day, and after a week, we're not going to accept any. If you realize after a week, you're going to lose 70%, and by turning in the assignment, it's too far beyond that point, and we're not going to accept it. So that's how that works. We already talked the discussion boards. Even if you have a family emergency, they cannot be turned in late just due to the dynamic nature of the discussion board and the fact that it's based upon other people reading and interacting with you. And our critical assignment is a line in the sand. Those need to be submitted by that day, and there's no exceptions. Now, if the key to this, if I can just summarize it, is keep me in the loop. Email me if you have any sort of issues. We can deal with it. What I can't deal with is the lack of communications, and especially in the world we live in. Each and every one of us has the ability to send an email from your phone, from your computer, from almost any minute at any day. Having internet connection to me is not an excuse, especially in the world we live in, where there's internet access everywhere. So if you have an issue, email me. If you have any issues with this course, email me. If you have any questions, email me. We can handle every problem. What we can't handle is a lack of communications, especially in online and professional studies, which uh, revolve around communications, email communications. We have some etiquette, we have some academic honesty, we have some students with disabilities, and we have some just suggested additional readings. So that is our syllabus. Hopefully I answered all the questions for you as it stands with the syllabus. If you have any other concerns or if you see anything, issues, once again, email me and we will deal with that. So now that we've talked about our syllabus, let's transition to learning activities. Learning activities. So when we go into learning activities, and we go into week 1 of learning activities, you are going to see that we have a list of weekly agendas. We have some reading assignments. There's some lectures that we have. We have a discussion thread that's due on day 7. We have a quiz that's due on day 7, and then there's a couple videos. So this is what you're going to see typically on a weekly basis from me. You're going to have a breakdown of each one of these assignments, and we're going to try to ensure that all these are very clear so we won't have any issues. So there's a couple lecture slides, there's a couple PowerPoints. It goes over the main concepts of this week. There's one on just the week 1 lecture, and there is another that is into the leadership intro that we have for this week. So once again, I would look over these and get a good idea of what we have in this first week. I would review the PowerPoints to get all the great concepts, so then I would do the reading, and then I would tackle my quizzes. So the quizzes for week 1 is based upon the readings of chapter 1, 2, and 3. what leaders when leaders are at their best, clarifying values and set the example. Set the example. I'm going to switch right back to the syllabus for a second because I want to just break down how the book is broken down. So if we looked at each week, there is an activity or a concept. Um, the leadership challenge book is broke down into 5 concepts. The first one is modeling the way. The second is inspiring a shared vision. The third is challenge the process. The fourth is enabling others to act. And the fifth is encouraging the heart. And if you look, each one of the weeks is based upon each one of these concepts. So here in the first week of this course, we are looking at modeling the way, and that is the overview of leadership and modeling the way. So the lectures on modeling the way. It gives you an introduction into leadership and the concepts of leadership. The quiz is based upon the readings, which will give you the introduction of the book. It talks about when leaders are at their best. We are going to clarify values and how to set the example. Clarifying values and setting the examples are the 2 concepts of how we model the way. And then we have our quiz that's based upon that. We have our week 1 discussion board. And what you're going to have here is we have a PDF, and it is a document on identifying your values. And what we're going to have you do is there's a series of values, and you are going to look through these, and from those you're going to, I believe, choose 5 of them, and then you're going to prioritize those based upon a point scale. And then you're going to articulate to me what the point scale and why you chose these 5 and why you gave the point scales to them, which you did. And that's for you're identifying your personal values, what's important to you. This could be based upon where you're at in life, your previous experience, your current organization, your visions of what you want to be or who you strive to be. And I want you to articulate that, and then that's going to be your original post. And then I want you to post your discussion threads on 2 of your classmates. Maybe identify what they have added. Maybe if you're adding some insight on why they particularly think things are important to them. And remember, I just don't want to hear some, I agree with you, great comment, great post. I want you to actually add to the scholarly conversation. And once again, that is going to be due on Sunday at 11:59. And then there are 2 videos. There is a short video, a TED Talk, that's about a 12-minute video on how leaders set the example. And then we have a much longer, I believe this is almost about a 55-minute video on Jim Kusier, one of the authors of our book, The Leadership Challenge. And here he is talking at Google on the importance of leadership. And even though it's a lengthy video at 55 minutes, it really summarizes, I have to say, a very large portion of this course. So I really think that it would be worthwhile you've read it, you saw it on some PowerPoint slides, now you're hearing it, and when you see things and you hear things and you read things, man, it's really gonna hopefully concrete in your mind and create a good foundation as we move forward in the weeks to come. Well, that is our week 1 introduction to the course and our introduction to the week 1 concepts. Once again, if you have any issues, concerns, anything, please get a hold of me as soon as possible. Email me. There isn't anything that we can't handle. The one thing we can handle, though, is a lack of communication. So let's make sure that if there are any issues, you get a hold of me. That we are that if there's any things that you need clarification on, you get a hold of me. If there's any things that you see conflicts with, you get a hold of me. I'm looking forward to our time together. I think this is a very exciting course. It's a very dynamic course. I look forward to your interactions and your concepts and your feedback because I feel this is one of these topics, especially when it comes to leadership. It is such a dynamic concept that the individual's perspective and interpretation to this really goes a long way. So I look forward to that. I hope that you all have a blessed week. I will be keeping you in my thoughts and my prayers, and if you have any issues, once again, get a hold of me. Bye for now. I look forward to reading and getting back to you as we navigate through this week.